Hello, my name is April Flanagan. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I have a bachelor's from University Wisconsin Stout. I'm expecting my master's from Morningside University. My certification is K-12 Instructional Strategist 2, and currently I'm in my fourth year teaching as a BD teacher at Jefferson Elementary School. The title of my research is The Effects of Positive Praise on Self-Esteem in the First Grade Classroom. My problem? Schools are seeing an increase in student behaviors and a decline in self-esteem. The big issue is a lack of social skills and an increase in negative comments a person hears. Research suggests that having more positive moments in your daily lives will improve psychological well-being and help cope with negative emotions. Why did I choose this problem? Well, as a BD teacher, I see a lot of hurting kids and I hear a lot of stories from them about what's going on at home. And I've seen it firsthand. And I wanted to make their day better. I wanted to see them more happy and have higher self-esteem and believe in themselves and have confidence. So I picked a topic to do my research on, something that I was very passionate about. And that is definitely increasing confidence in my students, increasing their self-esteem. The broad and build theory by Fredrickson is a theory that suggests people of all ages need to have more positive comments and moments throughout their day so they don't get lost but stay at a level for optimal health and growth. Low self-esteem can equal an increase in behaviors. As educators, can we make a bigger positive impact on students when their home lives might be negative? Higher self-esteem individuals focus on growth and improvement, while lower self-esteem would focus on not making mistakes in life. That was a study done by McLeod in 2012. Another researcher, Brown and Cook in 2001, looked at high and low self-esteem. They found a difference in people with high and low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem did not influence how happy or sad they felt following a success or failure. However, they found it did influence how they felt about themselves. So the participants who had lower self-esteem felt proud when they answered correctly, but humiliated and ashamed when they failed, while participants with high self-esteem and self-worth did not have feelings based on their performance or tasks. Another study done by Burnett and McCrindle found that students, they studied 269 students from grades 3 through 7th. The students completed a self-report questionnaire measuring the frequency of positive and negative statements made by their mom, dad, teachers, and peers. This study suggested that positive self-talk between students and parents and teachers did greatly affect their self-esteem. Then if we look at the study of self-esteem and self-concept and positive and negative self-talk and positive statements made by significant others by researchers Yaratan and Yukoslu, we find that their suggestion is that we need to increase the use of positive statements and decrease the negative statements in both boys and girls, which is very similar to how I set this up for my study. We also have a study done by Fink in 2009 that looks at how we can utilize behavior and social skills in the classroom. And this is research that is backed by the Boys Town Press material. There are many schools that are starting to adopt the Boys Town Press curriculum. And Fink describes this to be a 6-step process to changing the culture in your school. 6 easy things, and that's to set clear expectations, teach processes, praise students for good choices, build relationships, keep things small, and be patient. So what happened to a Chicago school when they adopted the Boys Town Press materials? Well, very exciting. They actually saw a 3.1 increase in academic reading. They saw a 15.6 increase in their attendance, and they also saw an 80% decrease in the incidence of serious misconduct. So the gap in research. There seems to be a gap in research that looks more at the difference between the general education students and students with behavioral IEPs. The purpose of this study was to study the data in the first grade classroom in the use of their positive and negative comments before and after the use of daily meetings, messages, social skill lessons, and words on self-esteem. I predicted that all students would increase their use of positive comments and decrease negative comments, decrease in behavioral referrals, and overall increase their self-esteem. My methodology. The research design I picked was an A-B design. It was 8 weeks long, so phase A was 4 weeks, and there were no interventions at that time. I simply was starting to track the positive and negative comments that the students were making, and also starting to right away in phase A collecting the self-esteem scores by doing a questionnaire one-on-one with each student. Once phase B, which was also 4 weeks, started, that's when all the interventions started of the daily pep talks, the daily social skills. Each student would have a positive word on their desk so we could easily point that word to them and remind them that that's who they are. Then the students that were selected to participate were 26 first grade students. Yes, we had a very large classroom size. 3 of them had behavior IEPs. 45% were boys and 55% were girls. This was a K-5 school with an 89% free and reduced social economic status. So what happened in my 8-week study? Well, the hypothesis that I predicted the self-esteem scores would raise with interventions of daily social skills and pep talks is supported with these results. You can see in this first self-esteem scores here, the light blue is the phase A score and the dark blue is the phase B score after all the interventions. So you can see in this chart that most all the way across the board, student scores for self-esteem increased. So it was very exciting to see self-esteem rise in the classroom. And I also did a t-test on this, which you can see the p-value was indicating a large effect size. Then we look at the positive and negative comments from each student. And like I said, I was tallying the positive and negative comments during one period of the day for each student. I actually had a separate spot for the gen ed kids and the special ed kids so I could see the difference between gen ed and special ed. And you can see on here I have the positive and negative comments, and then I have IEP kids, whole class, and non-IEP kids. So in phase A, the mean for positive comments was 1.6 and negative was 4.75. So I was hearing a lot more negative comments in a math class than positive comments before phase B started and the intervention started. But once phase B happened and then children got the interventions, we see that the mean for positive comments was 18.7 and negative was 2.7. The kids really grasped the idea really well in the math groups and always being a positive buddy. So this data does seem, whoa, that's a huge increase. And it really was. But kids really started to be more positive in their groups. A paired samples t-test was also conducted to compare the frequency of positive and negative comments made by the students. Onto the behavior portion of this. Again, we looked at phase A compared to phase B. There was significant increase in the mean scores for phase B during the intervention period. You can see our p-value here again shows a big change. So during phase A, the mean for the whole class was 17.67. This is behavior referrals, the standard deviation of 2.67. In phase B, the mean for the whole class for behaviors decreased to 14.79 and a standard deviation of 2.89. We've talked about the self-esteem scores rising. We've talked about the positive comments increasing and the negative comments decreasing. And now we see the behavior also started to decrease. So my hypothesis was supported throughout my study. Again, here is phase A and phase B of the behavioral referrals. This chart looks at your mean and standard deviation. And implications, what I learned. Well, I definitely learned a lot through this study. I learned that kids really can pick up on being more positive quickly. I also know that as I continued to do this, I had other teachers that said, come do social skills in my classroom, because my co-teacher must have been talking to other teachers about the social skill lessons I was doing and the carry through that she was seeing sometimes. Um, that we also determined through this that we as teachers could definitely use more curriculum for social skills, and not just for lower elementary, but definitely all across the board, that we need more social skill material and we need more time in our schedules to be able to teach those social skills. It's important for more parent training as well. In a lot of the research that we see, there was differences with teachers and parents and also peers. And if we could help the parents get on board with creating a more positive atmosphere at home as we try at school, that could definitely make an impact on their self-esteem for the future. And then we also have a need for more programs to help parents and teachers to understand how behaviors can be affected by the self-esteem and how negative and positive comments actually affect our well-being and health. Limitations of this study. Well, I chose to do an A/B research design, and that was kind of a big limitation. It's been a while since I did this research in the fall. I do have to think that I don't think I'm hearing as many positive comments as I was when I was doing the social skills every single day. Another limitation is I had first grade students. And when I was having them answer questions for self-esteem, I sometimes even questioned myself, like, are they really understanding the question? Are they giving me an accurate response? Or is this just kind of, at a whim that they're giving me this answer? Then we also could utilize, need more accurate forms for measuring self-esteem for children. That would be a big help. So my results and other research, researcher Dan studied 153 sets of parents and children looking at the interpersonal interactions, and his data suggests that adults in young children will affect their self-esteem and confidence. So we all make an impact on children. Researcher Joy helped us find out that we need more social skills training to get kids ready for school even. My recommendations. Well, I believe more research in a different design such as AB would be appropriate. I think if we did an extended time of the school day, not just one class period, that would help us get a better picture. I also think more parent and teacher education on the benefits of social skills and self-esteem, and getting things into the hands of parents for books that cover topics of self-esteem or social skills would be valuable. I also think that more mandatory social skill lessons as a school whole would be great to add as a curriculum. Here are my references that I used in this presentation. I do have one more page right here of references. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope if you're an educator that you will consider your words as one that make an impact on the overall health of a student in your room. And so try to choose how you can be more encouraging to them and make their days brighter. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you have a great day.